A couple weeks ago, I did a video about the gear you want versus the gear you need. And I talked about sorting your gear into two piles, stuff you use versus the stuff you didn't. Well, today I want to talk about all those items that ended up in the didn't use pile and why I no longer take them backpacking. And some of them might be a little controversial, so let's check it out. One of those items that I've never really seen the point in is the tent footprint. I mean, I get it. You bought an expensive tent that you want to last, and if you don't mind the extra weight for a little peace of mind, I guess that's up to you. But I will say I've been backpacking for some time with all kinds of different tents, some of which I used for years on end, like the Hornet Elite that has only a 10 denier nylon floor, probably as thin as you can get on a tent. And all that time, never once have I had a floor wear out on me or even get punctured. And it's not like I'm carefully cleaning campsites to protect my delicate tent floors. I'll clear obvious hazards, but other than that, the tent just goes wherever I need to put it with no footprint. But maybe I'm off the mark. If I am, let me know why in the comments below. If you spend much time on YouTube, then you have probably seen the NYLOFUME bag. A lot of backpackers will use these as pack liners to help keep their gear dry inside their pack. I've got two problems with these. One, they typically aren't big enough to fit all your gear and seal up nicely at the same time. And two, they aren't very durable. Instead, I just use regular kitchen trash bags. I typically put one around my quilt or sleeping bag and one around my extra clothes like a fleece or a down jacket. Most everything else I protect with a rain cover. I like this Dynamic cover from Z-Packs, but regular covers work just fine. If you were an early subscriber to my channel, then you know I used to love water bladders, and I still think the convenience of a drink tube is worth having, but the difficulty of filling, cleaning, and even the weight of a water bladder just doesn't feel worth it anymore. So instead, I use this bottle adapter tube that makes any water bottle into a drinking reservoir. Another item like the footprint that I've never really understood is the closed cell foam pad. This thing isn't even an inch thick. Other than for budget reasons, I don't really see the point, except possibly to give you more R value in really cold situations. If you don't know, you can actually layer the R value of sleeping pads. I've got a whole video about it that I'll link in the description below. And I understand the fear of puncturing a sleeping pad, but once again, I've only ever had one sleeping pad get a hole in it in about 15 or more years of backpacking, and that pad had a hole in it from the factory. Take a good patch kit, especially if it's cold out, and sleep in comfort on an inflatable pad. You will be glad that you did. Okay, this next one I've gone back and forth on, but two experiences this summer really drove it home for me, and that is waterproof boots. I did a hike with Justin back in June where I knew we were going to hit a lot of snow. I brought waterproof boots, and by the second day, they were soaked from snow coming down into the top of my boots and just would not dry out. Then, just last month, while hiking with my family, I had non-waterproof trail runners on, and we hit several unexpected water crossings. With no other option, I just got my feet wet and kept on hiking. Within a half hour, my feet were completely dry. And this is something that I've known about for some time, but years and years of hiking in boots just made me reluctant. But not anymore. I'm sold on non-waterproof shoes. Now, there are still a couple situations where I would still want waterproof boots in cold weather and non-stop rain like I've experienced in the Pacific Northwest. But for summer hiking, I'm ditching the boots for good. Long underwear is one of those things that I ditched a long time ago. Now, I have started a hike with a pair on in cold weather. In fact, they are a key piece of proper cold weather layering, but if I don't start with them on, I've never once put on a pair that I brought in my pack. For years, I would pack them just in case it got cold enough, but it never has. What I do instead is I use rain pants and a rain jacket as an extra layer that goes outside my clothes instead of under them. Not only is it much easier to put on, but they also keep me warm enough in most situations. Along with a fleece and a puffy jacket, if it gets colder than that, I just get in my sleeping bag. Okay, now we're going to get into the things that are a little bit more controversial. For most hikes, I don't bring a knife unless I need it for cutting food because I just don't use it. And it's one of those things that people are going to question my credibility, but like I said, I just don't use it. I do have a small pair of folding scissors that I use for cutting moleskin and stuff like that. And from a safety or survival standpoint, I've got plenty of gear designed to keep me safe and get me out alive. but feel free to disagree with me in the comments. And probably the most controversial is I don't carry bear spray or a gun or anything like that, at least not in black bear country. I'm gonna be in grizzly country here in a couple weeks, and you better believe I'm gonna have bear spray with me. And I used to carry it everywhere I went, but was convinced after reading some articles and some studies that statistically it's very unlikely that I'll ever need it when in black bear country. And what drove this home for me even further is a run-in I had with a bear 2 years ago with no bear spray, just me and a bear, and hey, bear, nothing happened. Now, that's for me. Obviously, if you choose not to take bear spray, you do so at your own risk. All I'm saying is I just haven't needed it. On a similar note, I also stopped bringing bear bags, but if you want to know why, you need to check out this video right here. If you disagreed with any of the things I said today, that's okay. Please let me know in the comments below, or if there's something that you used to take that you just don't anymore, I'm curious about that as well. Please like, subscribe, and do all those other things, and as always, thanks for watching.